All right, everybody, can you guys hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
All right, beautiful, beautiful. Let me go ahead and share my screen here real quick. Everybody. There we go. All right, everybody, what's going on? Good morning, good morning. I'm gonna get my things ready here real quick. Let's go over some charts. Let's talk about what's happening in the markets. What are we doing with Bitcoin, man? I'm excited for Bitcoin. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Um it's been a long time coming, you know what I mean? I've been saying it for a while. It's been a long time coming, and Bitcoin hitting those numbers. I mean, even I'm gonna tell you guys right now, even Bitcoin hitting a number like 100,000 is a big deal. All right. I want you guys to know that Bitcoin hitting $100,000 is a big deal, right? And the crazy part is when you look at the value of Bitcoin, right? How many Bitcoin in the entire world? Who can tell me that answer? Come on, this is basic stuff. If you don't know, that's cool. You can know, you can tell me. But this is if you've been around the yard a few times, right? We have Bitcoin is a finite amount, and that's the number one thing that I always tell people. Um, a lot of people that don't understand that I've came across, right? That I've came across that don't really understand Bitcoin, never knew exactly what this thing with Bitcoin was. Never really understood why the hype, right? What's the hype with Bitcoin? Why is Bitcoin going so crazy, right? Um, and it's a simple fact that it's math, right? It's like why is gold so valuable? Simple. There's not a lot of there's the simple answer is there's not enough gold for everybody. All right. There is not enough gold for everybody. If there was gold for everybody and then left over, it would be valued a lot less than it is today. How hard is it to mine gold? It's extremely difficult. How hard is it to find gold, right? How much pure gold is in a 10 carat chain? About 40%. How much pure gold is in a 24 carat chain? You understand? It's a different numbers why gold is valued. It's finite amounts. So Bitcoin is the same scenario. There's only 21 million Bitcoin in the entire world. There won't be any more and there won't be any less. And for that simple fact, Bitcoin is where it's at today. Right? Bitcoin is just going parabolic. There's no way that Bitcoin could fail. It's impossible. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. But I'm trying to get at is you take a finite item like Bitcoin, all right? Talking about 21 million Bitcoin in the entire world. All right, we know that's the math. 21 million Bitcoin in the entire world. And How many people in the world? 8 billion? Maybe pushing. Maybe we surpassed that already. So think about that. 21 million. You know what? I'll let you do the math. I will let you do the math because I really want you to get it to the best of your ability. If there's 8 million people in the world and I want everyone to have Bitcoin, if I want everyone to have an even amount of Bitcoin in the world, how much Bitcoin does everybody get? Yeah, we'll do the math together. That's what they made these for. That thing the teacher used to say to put away because it's not going to get you successful? Yeah, right. They put these things everywhere. I'm sure my car has one. 8 billion people. Oh, wait, I did that wrong. Sorry. It's 21. Sorry. We got to go with the Bitcoin first. 21. Whoa. Come on. 21 million Bitcoin divided by how many people? 8 billion. Hmm. That's how much Bitcoin everybody would get. That's at today's population, assuming there's 8 billion people, right? Assuming there's 8 billion people. I did their math wrong. Everyone would get 0.00026. You know what the crazy part is? Watch this. How much is 0.002625 Bitcoin worth in today's value?
Bitcoin underscore price underscore USD equals 11815.4.40. Bitcoin underscore amount equals 0.002625. Calculate the total value. Total underscore value equals Bitcoin underscore amount asterisk. Bitcoin underscore price underscore USD. Print the final result.
Oh
Print
my God.
F.
Gemini sucks, by the way. $310. I don't know what you gotta read all that crap to me. $310 is how much Bitcoin everybody would get. That means that if you want to be average and just have the regular amount that everybody has, you just got to get yourself $310 with the Bitcoin. Do you have $310 with the Bitcoin? And if you have $311 with the Bitcoin, you are considered top population. It's that simple. Math doesn't lie. The numbers. What if you have $1,000? Get it? So, fam, the fact that we are in a six-figure asset, we took Amazon and said, fuck off, we're next, right? Fifth largest asset in the world. Fifth largest asset in the world. As a matter of fact, now that I'm looking at these numbers, I was looking at this coin it launched a few days ago. This pump that fun. I thought it was gonna be a rug. Hasn't rugged yet. Still hanging on there, checking it thoroughly. I haven't seen a meme coin in a while, but I think pump that fun might have some potential. I don't know if it's gonna be there now. But here, Bitcoin's market cap is $2.3 trillion dollars. And it's actually a little bit higher. The market cap for Bitcoin was for crypto market was about 3.88. We had some liquidations in there. But this is crypto week. What does that mean? I have no idea, to be honest. The government said that this week was considered to be crypto week because they're trying to pass a bill called what is the name of that bill? It's a crypto bill. It's a crypto friendly bill, but I gotta be honest with you, I don't remember the name. Okay, that's number one. And I don't know. I know what it's for. Clarity bill. There we go. Clarity bill. It's a bill for cryptocurrency adoption, stable coins, all this other stuff. And crypto has been exploding this week. As a whole. I mean, we've been buying Bitcoin for a very long time, fam. If even if you've been with me, like I consider my last group of students coming from 2001. But if you've been with me since 2016, 2017, which I don't think anybody is, to be honest. A lot of people went on to either do very great or do very shitty. People quit, fam. That's what people do. People quit. They're quitters. Anyway, um, yeah, fam. I remember buying Bitcoin. It was 20,000 on the 20,000 era, 2017. And people were complaining. They were like, nah, it's too late. I missed out already. It's not gonna be for me. It's too expensive. It's almost at 20,000. Well, yeah. Imagine that. I wish it was at 20,000. And crazy part is I got stuck, fam. I was forced to buy this shit at a price that I didn't want to. And it's okay. It's okay. It happened, right? I was expecting this thing to come down here. It still can. It still can drop. Look, Bitcoin, looking at Bitcoin right now, this thing can still drop to 77,000, right? Just because we broke into a new high and broke through a massive key level, we're only one candle in. This is a weekly candle, by the way. We're only one candle in. But at one point, we come into exhaustion, right? And remember, up here is what we call unknown territory. We don't really trade it, we kind of just follow it. And if we trade, it's because we've been in it for a while now. We don't jump into new trades when it's a new territory. That's something that a lot of traders don't do. They like to just jump, 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 trade, trade, trade. I don't trade in unknown territories. I don't speculate. I don't guess. I don't have a crystal ball. Um, I have analysis. All right. Um, July 1st, July 15th. Wow, that's crazy, fam. July 15th already. What do we have today? All right, today was a beautiful day. 8:30, we had CPI year over year. It went up. CPI up year over year. Month stable. Actually, no, right at forecasted. CPI for CAD up 1%. Okay, so at 12:45, I'm gonna tell you right now, 12:45 shades the fan. You got FOMC member speaking. You got 1 o'clock, another one. Now 2:45, another one. Then you have the Bailey speaks at 4 o'clock, which is the Bank of England. And then we have API at 4:30. Then another FOMC member, Logan, speaking at 7:45. And then one just spoke maybe about 45 minutes ago. So looking at the markets, I gotta be honest, fam. It's so hard to look at this chart when you have this chart over here topping $123,000. Have you guys been looking at crypto? I mean, at a US 30? I really haven't. I've been waiting for it to come down, kind of a retracement, which is kind of doing right now. But we can have another momentum of explosion, right? There's also rumors, and this is another thing that we gotta go over. So, fam, officially, we have entered the ISO 222 era. I'm gonna explain to you exactly what that is, right? We spoke about this before, a couple of years back, because this was to be implemented pre-COVID, right? This was supposed to be launched 2019, 2018. Um, and it hasn't, right? It hasn't done that yet until July 11th, 2025. And it has been very quiet. And I'm going to read you the timeline, okay? Um, why Ripple has been exploding. We guys seen Ripple almost hit, or did it hit like $3? Okay. Um, but I have a calendar. Oh shit, it's on my phone actually here. Um, but I have a calendar here. I want to share it real quick with you guys. Um, it's a timeline of exactly what is happening with here we go. All right, I'm gonna read this to you. Okay. If you guys are not in the Instagram channel, the free one, all right, go on there. Even if you're in the Academy group, just go on there. I drop a lot of like quick news on there. I don't want to flood our school, I guess board with just a bunch of news that only matter for a day. So I put them on here. But this is very important, okay? This is the timeline of ISO 222, and it's taking effect before the year ends. And which is why I told you that Bitcoin, I mean not Bitcoin, but specifically XRP can top numbers like $20, but $20 easily by the end of the year. Okay. And I'm gonna go to Google and look up ISO 222, right? So we look at what coins qualify for ISO 222. Those will be all coins that are centralized pretty much. Okay, made in America coins. So we got Ripple. Um, yeah, I'll make it easy for you. You got coins, the integrated financial system. Okay. ISO 222 currency refers to cryptocurrencies that support and integrate with the financial messaging standard to enable seamless data exchange and interoperability in banking system. Examples include XRP and XLM. Okay. These are coins that are compliant with ISO 222. So you have coins like Ripple, XLM, Quant, XDC, Algo, HBAR, IOTA, Cardano. These are coins that are already, which we pretty much have all of them. Okay. Now, what is ISO 222 and how it's going to pretty much change the financial system worldwide? Have you guys ever heard of the SWIFT system, the SWIFT network? No? Okay. The SWIFT network is the current or the previous network that was used to send money internationally. The banks would use this to send trillions across the world, pretty much. Right? If you send money to your mom via Western Union, they use SWIFT system. If you use the bank to send money to China to your business, they use a SWIFT system, right? That is no longer there. As a matter of fact, the SWIFT system was shut down on July 14th, 2025. Yesterday. Okay? Yesterday. It was put on hold on July 11th. It was shut down on July 14th. This is going to change the standard because now they're going to use cryptocurrency to send money across seas as well as information, which is going to save time and money, which will make these currencies a lot more valuable. And why do they use these coins? Why do they call them? Why do they call them ISO approved coins? Because they are centralized, fam. They have a central network, right? Which means they could be controlled, they could be manipulated, they could be altered, things like that. All right. So on June 16th, marks the end of the 60-day pause granted by the Ripple SEC lawsuit, right? So that already happened. On July 14th, the U.S. Federal Wire Fund Service has migrated to ISO 222. Okay? Giving institutions more time to prepare. Okay, so it doesn't, I'm sorry, I'm gonna rephrase that. It hasn't really changed yet. But the U.S. uses a FedWire fund service that has migrated already to ISO 222. So anything that's sent via now wire is being sent via those tokens. During the summer and the fall of 2025, which is right now, Genius Act, that's what they're trying to pass. That's the name, the Genius Act, USA. I knew I had it on here. A final congressional vote on the Genius Act is expected. This will depend on reconciliation between the House and Senate version of the bill. Both bills are focused on creating a clear regulatory framework for stablecoins. Now, think about that word for a moment, stablecoins. Jerome Powell, right, has come out many times and said stable coins are a legitimate source of income. The banks cannot use crypto in whatever way they want. People have the right to create Bitcoin. They can have stable coins, right? And most of these acts, the one that just passed, Big Beautiful Bill, the Genius Act, this crypto bill, are now categorizing stable coins as a form of currency, which means we're going to start seeing very soon a transformation from digital dollar, which we already have, right? People say that we don't want a digital dollar. Your dollars are digital automatically, believe it or not. The minute you take $10 and put it in your bank, that money becomes digital. It's centralized. It goes into their ledger, their node, it's digital, right? I always say this. Think of banking, right? People think that banking is like when you go open a bank account, they make a nice little box for you and it says, "Yo, this is Lincoln's money," right? He put $10 in, I put the $10 into that box. No, no, no. That money gets put into a pile, into a cash pile. And all they do is go to computer. Lincoln, boom, boom, $10 plus. Boom, boom, Lincoln minus $10. Subtract. There's no specific box just for you, right? So that's what they use fractional reserve banking. They loan your money out, yada, yada. Okay. So on October 9th, 2025, that's this year, all European area banks must send instant payments. Fees must not exceed those of regular SEPA transfers. So now the European nation will also be forced to change how they send instant payments. October 18th and October 19th. The SEC, this is a Ripple news. The SEC has a 240-day deadline to decide on the Grayscale XRP Trust and the 21 shares core XRP Trust ETF, with deadlines on October 18th and 19th of this year. These were ETFs that were filed earlier this year by both Grayscale and 21 Shares, right? Two hedge fund companies that want to create ETFs for XRP. And they have until the 18th and 19th to make up their mind. November 2025, here's where it really gets big. All financial institutions using the SWIFT network for cross-border payments must fully adopt ISO 222. Only ISO 222 will be supported for SWIFT cross-border payments, and all MT messages will be discontinued. And by the end of 2025, ISO 222 is expected to become the global standard for financial messaging, covering 80% of the world's transactions volume. 87% of the total transaction value will now be in ISO 222. Fam, I never thought I would see the day that this would happen because this has been teasing since 2018, right after Bitcoin exploded and XRP had its first push to the upside. They implemented this idea to do this. As a matter of fact, the idea was so powerful and so vivid that there was a company that launched a debit card that would tie directly to your crypto wallet. It was the first one. And whenever you swipe your card, it will take Bitcoin, convert it into dollars or whatever currency you wanted to, and make payments automatically. And that credit card, I mean, that thing failed. It lasted maybe about 6, 8 months. I had it for a little bit. Um, but that was wild. It was wild to see that. And now we're seeing full integration and transformation of all that happening and converting to ISO 2022. Now they're saying all foreign maybe you think to yourself, hey, I don't do any foreign transactions. I don't care about that. Hey, family, guess what? It starts with the bank and it moves on to you. It starts with the bank and it moves on to you. You want to know how I think is gonna implement people the quickest, right? Do you travel abroad? Usually, when I travel abroad, if I go to London or if I'm different in Mexico, whatever, I only bring a card called Amex. Period. I don't bring anything else. I may bring some, maybe $1,000, maybe a little bit more to go gamble at the casinos or whatever. But I am not bringing a debit card. I am not bringing anything called MasterCard, no Visa. I'm bringing American Express, right? Because I get free, in transaction fees, free conversion, no international fees. Everything's fucking insured, every expense I do, so I don't need to bring anything else, right? Now that might change because now that's considered a foreign transaction. So now what's going to happen to me if I have to use Ripple? Do I have to find a way to convert my digital currencies using only the coins approved by ISO 222 compliant rather? Let's see. And I'm gonna call this right now. There's gonna be a meme coin gonna come out. And guess what the meme coin is gonna be called? The meme coin will be called ISO 222. And it's gonna skyrocket. I fucking promise you. Watch. Somewhere during after the summer, maybe around like September, October, when things really get kicked up, we might start seeing that coin float around there. And you might start seeing some people making it right now. No, no, there's no traction. There's no traction. Because there's a lot of people don't know this. Eduardo said, what coin form ISO 2022 has the most potential for upside other than XRP? XLM. XLM Cardano. I think those are the top two. It'll be XRP, XLM, Cardano, right? Those three coins, I think I'm gonna be doing the best. But this is gonna be a big change. It's a big change. And here's what I see. I'm seeing these coins skyrocket, family. Right? I'm sorry. XRP, Monero, right? XLM, Cardano, HBAR. They're gonna start to explode. And here's the crazy part, right? That money is going to be floating and leaking over to Bitcoin, to Ethereum. And the other one, too, we got to keep an eye on is stable coins, right? Stable coins stay at $1. That's not going to change. But you're going to start seeing a lot of money flow into stable coins. I mean, family, there was a wallet a couple weeks back that bought Bitcoin in 2011. 2011, that's 14 years ago. Okay. Somebody bought Bitcoin 14 years ago and spent $20,000 buying Bitcoin. And they just moved that money a couple of weeks ago. And they moved a combined total of $14 billion. What the fuck were we doing in 2011? Why didn't you know what I mean? I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. Every day when I see Bitcoin explode like this, I have this little I do what's called a kick in the ass um a kick in the ass ritual, right? Which prevents me from missing opportunities ever again, right? And you guys gotta have this, right? I'm sorry, you guys gotta have this. Like if I present to you something today, I'm pretty sure everyone I spoke to back in 2016 should do this shit every day, right? I told them buy Bitcoin and they didn't listen. I told them do this, they didn't listen, and look at them now. They're probably still working at T-Mobile or whatever, which I'm pretty sure they are. I seen them. But it's something that's gonna remind you to, hey, you know what? I should have fucking listened. I should have done something different. I should have taken the chance because you know what? You know what? This is what I do. I go to a Bitcoin chart. Okay. I go to a Bitcoin chart. I do this. I swear to God, I do this every single time. And I go to Bitcoin. Where's Bitcoin? Here, Bitcoin. Okay. And what I do is that I simply rewind to the year 2013, right here. Okay. Now, here's what I want you to see. This chart only goes back to 2014. Okay. So I look at this little dinosaur. So the chart was created. Okay. And look when the chart pops up and I see January 2014, price of Bitcoin. Am I on the right chart? Yeah, I am. Here we go. That's was 2015. Oh, I know why. I can't even do that anymore. Yeah, I'll make it simple for you. Bitcoin in September of 2013 was $133. Oh, September 30th is actually my birthday. But on September 3rd, 2013, Bitcoin was $133. Why do I look at this? This was the first time I was ever approached about Bitcoin in September 2013. It was around my birthday, and my mom is an esthetician. She does spa. She's been doing it for all her life. She buys equipment, and there was this woman selling an equipment, a machine she needed for facial steam, all that shit. And the lady was selling this machine on some whatever website they used back then, like Marketplace today, but it was back in 2013. And she lived in California. We lived in New York at the time, and she was selling this machine. She was selling it for I think it was like $600. It's a very expensive machine, but she wanted it. She wanted to be paid in Bitcoin. She wanted to be paid in Bitcoin. And my mother came to me and asked me, "Hey, have you ever heard of this? Because Lady wants to sell me this machine, but I think it's a scam because it says she only takes Bitcoin. It says I have to go open a wallet and create an ID and yada yada yada." And I looked into it, and I swear to God, fam, I did maybe about 15 seconds worth of research, and I said it's a scam. Don't even do it. Forget it. I said, don't even do it. Forget it. It's a scam. She said, really? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, it sounds scam. I'm like, why don't you just take money? Just take real money. And then that was it. And then I didn't hear about it again until 2016. And when I made my first six figures in Bitcoin, the first person to tell me I told you so was my mom. Fucking crazy, right? But I think about that shit all the time. I mean, I got in at like, 22, no, 22, 2300, and I could have gotten in 2000% less. Fucking nuts, fam. It's crazy, but it's crazy. It's nuts. It's just crazy to think about this. To see where it's at today, monumental. Think about 13 years from now, 14 years from now, right? 14 years from now. That's gonna be nuts, fam. All of this chart will be unrecognizable. I always tell people this, look, when Bitcoin was around, when it first started, right? When Bitcoin first came out or whatever, and you had a first chart, people were analyzing the charts of Bitcoin and yada yada, right? And you look at Bitcoin and you look at like, wow, that looks so cool. It's gonna be crazy. But like, like none of this happened yet. And you're looking at just this, you're like, oh, oh, it dropped. Oh man, it went from 300 or $100. Oh, it jumped back up to 280. Oh, 314. Oh, can we crack 500? And now we look at this and we're like, yeah, that's cute. We're at fucking $100,000. It's nuts. You know what this reminds me of? Have you seen the price, the stock price for Berkshire Hathaway? I can't fathom that. If you don't know what that is, Berkshire Hathaway is a real estate company owned by what's this guy's name? Old guy, the richest guy, the smartest guy. What's his name? Warren Buffett. Not was it Warren? Yeah, all right. But I look at this stock price because I remember when I first looked at it. This is I can't remember when I first looked at it. Probably when I started investing. But I was mind blown. No, that's not what I'm looking for. That's definitely wrong. But the Berkshire Hathaway stock, Class A. There we go. Oh, it's down 20.3. Oh, look at that. It's only $709,000. A stock, one share, fam, one share of Berkshire Hathaway right now is worth $709,000. Oh, and the 52-week high is 812, which means they're down maybe about 5-10% from the week high, but they're up from the low of 609,000. They're right in the middle, as a matter of fact. And if I look back at this, right, this stock launched in 1985 and it was $2,000 when it first IPO'd. July 26th, 1985. You would have bought a share for 2 grand, you would have $700,000 today, which is kind of a slow return. We're talking about, what is this, 40 years, right? About 40 years. I mean, 40 years, 709,000 is a little bit slow, but you don't just buy one. Maybe you bought two, maybe you bought 10, maybe you bought 100 shares, right? But I'm gonna guess when I first looked at this stock, it was in $250,000. I want to say when I started, and I thought that was nuts. I was like, "Yo, 250,000 for just one share." My first question was, does that come with the house? Like, am I investing in this real estate company and I buy one share? Does that come with the house? That's a lot. Look at their MC, 1 trillion. 1 trillion. They just crossed the $1 trillion market cap, and one share is $709,000, family. That's crazy to me, right? But I want to compare something for you. Okay. It took this stock 1985 to right here until 2006. How many years is that? That's 21 years to go from 4 digits to 6 digits, from 2000 to 6 figures. 21 years. It took Bitcoin. How many years are we in? Um, 15 years to go from 0 to 6 figures. What's going to happen in the next 6 years, 10 years? Funny enough, you know what 7 years from now is? 2032. Does anybody here remember? Oh man, if you know this, you're paying attention. Does anybody here remember what I told you happens in 2032 that is vital and crucial to the existence of Bitcoin as well as all of its holders? 20, family, that's 7 years from now. A little bit less. I'm gonna guess somewhere, yeah, about 7 years from now. How old would you be in 7 years? How old am I now? Yeah, I hurts when you think about it. Your knees start clicking when you start thinking about it. Nobody remembers? Come on, it's gotta be one person that knows. It's one. Okay, let me see. Let me go through these. Should I buy crypto off my ledger? Oh, brother, great question. I wanted to address this actually on the class. I will address this. Just let me go through these comments first, and then I'll get back to that. But your question is, should I buy crypto off my ledger and purchase from Coinbase? I got you. Bitcoin to $1 million a coin, 10 easily, easily, fam. Any coin that has loss. You know what's crazy? Michael Saylor today, in case you guys don't know who that is, Michael Saylor is the head of strategy, right? And they buy Bitcoin every week like it's milk. Like they gotta get, like I gotta refill the fridge with more Bitcoin, right? And they're buying Bitcoin in the millions of dollars. This man reminds me of Michael Burry. Michael Burry back in 2005 when he was announcing, hey, the housing market is gonna crash. And everybody said, "Nah, you're lying. Real estate is stable." Who doesn't pay their mortgage? He said, I'm telling you, the housing market will crash. And the dude was so confident that did you know that there wasn't a method available to short the housing market, meaning to bet against the housing market? They made one just for him because they wanted to take his money. They called him stupid. They said, we're going to make a market just for you because we want your money, right? And every year that you're wrong and the market goes up, you're going to pay us premiums on that money. That's you, pretty much you're in margin call. You're putting money in to keep the capital alive. It's crazy. That's what Michael Saylor, that's what Michael Saylor reminds me of today. That guy. Any coin that has lost his ROI, can they ever recover it? Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's just a roller coaster. Oh, here we go. Oh, my brother said Bitcoin will not be mined anymore. Close. I think I know what you guys are getting at, but I want an exact answer. All right. I want an exact answer because I'm gonna break it down to you, right? I'm gonna break it down. You ready? By the year 2032, the last full Bitcoin will be mined. 2032, the last full coin. After that, there will only be crumbs left for mining, which will make mining a lot more difficult, a lot more expensive, which will in turn make Bitcoin much more expensive. Okay. By the year 2032, the last full Bitcoin will be mined. By the year 2132, it's 100 years after 2032. By the year 2132, all the Bitcoin in the world will be mined. Now, why does it take so long? Right? It's literally taking 100 years for that last 1%. Because remember, every 4 years that Bitcoin halves, the amount reduces and reduces, and it gets cut in half. So as the years go by, less Bitcoin becomes available. Fam, that formula alone should say, wow, like I gotta get into this. What if I told you, right? What if I told you, hey, every year that you're alive, there's less food available for you? Not only would you be fit as fuck, but it will be hard to acquire food. It will be more expensive. Funny enough, that's exactly what's happening today. Tell me I'm wrong. Is food not more expensive than it was last year? Than when you were a baby, than when you were a toddler, when you were 15 years old? Of course it is. Right? So that's exactly what's happening. But why is nobody investing? Why is, the price of bread not through the roof? Because bread is not finite. They can make it again. They can make it again. They can make it again, make it again, make it again, make it again. Get it? Bitcoin, you can't make it again anymore. Neither can you do that with gold, right? So it's going to become much more expensive. And that formula alone is crazy. Crazy. So I always like to think about it like, what we're doing now, we, by default, we are the first generation to get into Bitcoin, period. We are the first. Only been 15 years. And to think that there's still 100 plus years after us is gonna be crazy, right? I want my picture on a fucking mansion when they come in and say, "This is the guy that started our family fortune right here. He bought some coin, and now what's crazy, fam? There's gonna be some families, I promise you. You think about it now, it's not as funny, but it makes sense. You think about some family maybe 100 years down the road when Bitcoin's like 20 million a coin or whatever, and say, yo, my dad bought 0.03 Bitcoin and now look at us, we're fucking rich as fuck. Can you imagine that? Just off 0.03? What about those that have like 20, 40? Even if you have two, it's crazy. Being a whole coiner is rare, fam. Having just one whole coin. I mean, you got 100K in your pocket. 100K in your pocket. It's crazy. All right, beautiful people. Does anybody have any questions for me before I answer the question Should I buy crypto off my ledger and purchase from Coinbase? Now, my next question to you is, what crypto are you looking to buy? If you're looking to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, two things take account, right? One being what are you buying, and two, where do you live? That's the thing, right? So if you live in America, if you're here in the US and you want to buy basic coins, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Dogecoin, my recommendation is just go through crypto.com. You could do it on crypto.com. Matter of fact, you can also do it on Coinbase, right? Coinbase has gained a lot of reputation. In case you guys don't know, Coinbase, um, Gemini. I don't use Gemini, not the crypto exchange, but those are American companies. But Coinbase, Gemini, and crypto.com, all three of those companies now offer a crypto reward credit card, not a debit card, credit card. The Coinbase one I am super excited for. Hasn't launched yet. I think it's launching at the end of the year. But that one is done by American Express. I'm an American Express whore. I fucking love American Express. Right? Pretty much every time I go out somewhere, I'm like, fuck, I hope they take Amex. Yeah, because none a lot of places take them. And I think I have maybe like one Visa, period. I don't have anything else. One Visa card and one Master. One Visa, one Master, and then like all eight are like fucking Amex. Gold, platinum, all that shit. I love them. The perks are amazing. Um, so they're launching this credit card, Coinbase, with Amex, with perks, with wait for this one, 4% crypto back, 4% Bitcoin back on your purchases, 4%. And guess where you're capped at? Unlimited. There is no limit on how much Bitcoin you can earn. I promise you that won't last for long. That'll probably last for about a year, and then they'll cap it. Because knowing me, I'll go buy a house. I'll go buy a house just to get that 4% Bitcoin. That's what I'm doing. Um, but yeah, fam. So those three companies offer credit cards, which is good, right? But if you want to buy them again, crypto.com, it's a simple exchange. They are liquid, so they have money. Use them, buy them from there. However, do not hold in exchanges. Do not hold in exchanges unless you're willing to risk the coins for the return, right? And what I mean by that is this. I recently upgraded my crypto.com debit card. I don't use it. I like to upgrade it because they have new perks, right? But in order for me to upgrade it, I have to take CRO token, right, which is their native coin, and I have to lock it for 6 months, 180 days. And it's locked. It doesn't, I can't withdraw it. They can't take it. It's locked. And then I can use the card and get the perks. And as long as those coins are locked, I get the perks. The minute you withdraw those coins from that locked place, you lose the perks. You go back to like whatever the regular perks are. So I don't know how it works with those locked coins, right? If crypto.com, God forbid, was to shut down tomorrow and go insolvent, do I still have those coins because they're locked, right? They were locked. Where would they go? So overall, to be honest, if you want to keep your crypto safe, buy it and wherever you can. If you could buy it on Binance, if you can buy it on crypto.com, you can buy it on Gemini. Easiest way to buy Bitcoin today in America, fam, go to Cash App. Go on Cash App, go to the Bitcoin section, buy Bitcoin. It's lightning speed. They have the Lightning Network, and you can transfer it out within seconds. Easiest way to buy Bitcoin is through Cash App. But once you have that coin, you move it to your ledger. I wouldn't recommend buying from the ledger because the ledger uses third-party applications to purchase. So Ledger itself is not really a exchange. They're a storage, they're a cold storage company. So they will need to outsource your payment to another company. They use mostly MoonPay. That's the biggest one that they use. and you could buy from MoonPay, but then you got to pay a fee. You got to pay a fee. There's a fee for it to be linked to your ledger, and then you got to pay whatever fee MoonPay charges. It's not worth it. Just buy it directly from wherever you have to buy it, and then just transfer it to your ledger, and then just leave it there. Leave it there. Keep those keys secured. Eduardo asks, what is the best what is the best Amex card with best rewards like cashback? So that depends on you, right? If you want a card with just cash back, that'll be the blue card. It's simple. The Amex Blue, that's the one that gives the cash back. You could use that for grocery, shopping, dining. That's the one that gives you the most cash back. For me, I know how to convert my points, or I'm just a point holder and I can transfer them. So I mostly use my Amex Gold. It gives you the highest rewards. And if you have Amex Gold and Amex Platinum, right, that Platinum is a $700 a year um, annual fee. And the Gold is a $400 a year annual fee. But the Gold gives you almost twice as many points as the Platinum does. So I use the Gold for pretty much all my business. They're all business cards. I use them for mostly business operations. But business platinum I use for travel because the perks that they give you on travel are just amazing. They don't really give you that many points as much as the gold does. So I use the gold for points. This one I'll use for rental cars, travel. They give you a bunch of vouchers for hotels and stays and discounts here and credit backs on Amazon, and you get Clear for free, and you get the Delta Lounge, you get Centurion Lounge, you get Priority at all this crazy shit. But if you want just cash back the blue, I think the blue is $100 a year, $95 annual fee. Um, but if you really travel a lot, I travel a lot. Um, my platinum is for that, and my goal is just to operate my business. And then of course I gotta have the Amex from Delta, the reserve, because I could bring people with me when I go to a lounge. I get travel, I get a free travel voucher, right? So for example, next week, yeah, next week I'm going to LA, and we're going there for a cruise for a business convention. So the cruise will be on in Mexico and on the boat. But I booked us a flight in Delta, first class. I only paid for one ticket, the other one I got for free. They gave me a companion pass every year for free. So pretty good. And then priority upgrades too. I could book like a regular seat. And since I have a high tier and a credit card, I'm like up first for upgrade. So if there's an upgrade available, they upgrade me for free to first class. I don't have to buy it. But when I see the flight is full, I'll just fucking buy it. I'll just buy it. But all right, family, does anybody have any other questions for me? So what did we learn today? Bitcoin is nuts, and you should buy some more. Just buy some more. That'd be crazy. And get some of those ISO tokens too, right? Ripple, XLM, Cardano. Right? These are coins that they're fairly cheap, man. Cardano's under $1. And one of my favorite ones, Stellar and H bar. H bar. All right. All right, beautiful people. I'll let you guys go. Have a great rest of your week. I appreciate you guys being on. We had a good class today. Love the attendance, you guys coming through, learning something, asking questions. I love that. I love when you guys pick my brain. I get to pick your brain. I don't know it all. All right, beautiful people. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your week. Let me see. What week? Oh, man, we're mid-year. We're mid-year. It's crazy. Mid-year. But it's gonna look juicy by the time September comes, let me tell you. Hey Katrina, you're very welcome. I'm glad you were here. Have a great